Well, hello. How are you all today? Hope you're well. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I want to address some truths about America and Americans on this. I think that it's going to cause some people some consternation, maybe not in the way that you think. I hope that it's going to educate some people, and hopefully it doesn't get too many folks butthurt, but if it does, that's all right. That's the way it goes. A healthy dose of truth can go a long way towards remedying what ails you. So let me get to that. Before I get to that, remember, if you want to come to the first annual Integrative Preparedness Stonemont Summer Gathering, it's coming up July 13th, 24. It's going to be in Lenexa, Kansas. You can get all the information to that on the Stonemont website, stonemont.us. It doesn't cost anything. We just need you to register because we want to know how many people are coming for a couple of reasons. Those who come can also get one of these cool mugs. It says this is the official mug of the first annual gathering. And on the back, prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Semper Paratus, all that. The second is that also on the website, you can now pre-order my 7th book on Wings Like Eagles. It's a good one. It is the 7th in the Stonemont series. I've never offered a pre-order before, and people have asked for it, so I have. You can pre-order, and we're hoping that they'll ship sometime first or second week of July. I'm still going through the editing process, and I've gone through, well, it doesn't matter. It's a complicated process, but I hope to be done with all that tomorrow. Okay, and then also we've added also in response to people asking for it, a one-click option to buy the entire Stonemont set, the entire series. I have to have two hands now to hold them all up. The reversion, the revival, the renewal, the appeal to heaven, hostage to fortune. Well, I'm getting out of order. The reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune, and then of course the 7th one, on Wings Like Eagles. And when you buy the whole set, which you do, you can't get them this way through Amazon, only through our website. I toss in the Stonemont workbook also. Am I holding up there? Okay. And so you can get all those now, and you get a little bit of a discount when you do that. But when you do it through our website, I get to sign them for you. Matter of fact, that's how I'm going to be spending the rest of my day editing. And we just got, like I told you the other day, we got in a huge load of books, and I'll be signing and putting those in to be shipped out tomorrow. And then we have had such a rush on these. The orders for these have been amazing. And so I'm going to have to put in another order for another big load that'll be coming. But don't worry, we'll keep up. As people keep buying, we'll keep ordering. And they set another record last week. So for all of you Stonemonters, great to have you. One more sip, and then I'm going to get started on this. Some truths about America and Americans. Okay, so I got up bright and early this morning, about 5 o'clock. Had a lot to do. And I already put up one video and put up a couple of things on Patreon already. But then I had a lot to do around the house before I was able to get to this. And it gave me the opportunity to listen to some other YouTube channels. I don't often get the chance to do that. There's one or two that I'll usually listen to when I'm doing other things, but usually I'm so involved in whether it's my own stuff, my own books, daily life, that I don't get a chance to watch as many videos as I used to. But I did today. Today I was doing some things inside the house, so I just stuck my phone in my pocket, and I listened to several all the way through. And I was pretty disappointed in what I was hearing. I'll be real honest with you. Now, to listen to these channels, everything in this country is horrible. And I'm not going to say, I don't think that they're purposely lying, okay? Because although you never know anybody until you know them, if you've watched somebody on a channel for a while, you get a sense as to whether they are legit, whether they're being honest according to what they think, and know. And I think all of these were. I think these were their honest opinions on things. But I just had to shake my head because they are just about as far off as you can get on some things. And I know I'm going to have people disagree with me on this. And I would just ask you, throw a wider net. Okay? And I think that the reason, and it has to do, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I realized that all of these channels were people that lived in rural areas. And the things that they were basing their opinions on, maybe I should go back and mention a couple of these things first, okay? And then I'll come back to this. I will circle back. One of the things that I hear relentlessly is how lazy and stupid and out of touch and out of shape and addicted to their electronics the younger generation is. I have to ask, who do these people know? Because I don't know kids like that. And I know a lot of kids. Okay? I know a lot of kids. We live in a very, as you heard me say, a suburb, a very nice suburb. My kids go to huge public schools that do not teach all of the LGBT, everything in the world, like so many in the preparedness world seem to think that they do. I don't know where you're getting that. Well, yes, I do. You're getting it from the news, or you're getting it from the echo chamber of hearing other people agree with you who think the same thing, who, if they were exposed to more, I think would think differently, because I don't know any of those kids that I hear described. I don't know any lazy kids. I don't know any overweight kids. I don't know any out of touch kids. I don't know any stupid kids. Okay? I don't. This generation that I see, and I have three, well, gonna be teenagers. My daughter's turning 13 here in a few days. So I'm gonna have 18, 14, and 13. The gamut. And I know all of their friends. And I know all of their activities. These kids are going all the time. If they're not involved in their sports activities, they are working. Yeah. Did you hear that? Working. Jobs. Buying their own cars. Buying all of their own extras. Buying their own phones. Buying their own, whatever it is. Half the time, they buy their own food. I know, does that surprise you? Yeah. A lot of times I'll say, hey, I'm going to take you, let's go get something. And you know what my kids say? I'd rather buy it myself, Dad. You know why? Because they make money, because they work, because they're responsible. And I know their friends are the same way, and I know their friends' families. And their friends' families are high-achieving individuals. And they instill these values in their kids. And to hear people talk about how lazy and out of touch and everything like this the younger generation is, I feel sorry for the people who hear that, because you're living in the wrong place. You really are. Nothing could be further from the truth. Now, and like I said, we live in we live in an affluent. Sometimes, when I say that, I know that I'm going to get hate. Now, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And that's another bad thing about our society, is this kind of jealousy, this kind of, I call it a bigotry of people who aren't doing as well against those who are doing better. And so every time that I say, but I do want to say this, because if I don't see this, I won't be able to defend it as if I should have to defend it. that yes, we live in an affluent area, and I make no apologies for that because I worked my ass off for all of my life. Okay, and so did Kelly, and we come from families who did, and who have instilled intergenerational and multi-generational responsibility and understanding of the importance of building your assets. Simple as that. You know, if somebody wasn't raised like that, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault. Okay, not my fault. Um, and so when I look at the kids around here, these kids are high achievers. You know what? I don't see any. I don't see any pink hair. Like if you watch some other channels, you'd think that the whole world was a bunch of pink-haired uh, whatevers. I haven't seen any of it. I don't see any of it. I mean, I may occasionally see something like that. Well, no, I can't remember the last time I saw something like that. Now the kids will show me some things like on TikTok and things, you know, but these aren't people around here. I don't see it. You can't. And you know what else we don't have? We don't have a bunch of tweakers. We don't have people living on government subsidies. We don't have a bunch of drug problems. We don't have a bunch of kids who have been abandoned by their parents. I don't know. I think of all my kids, friends, that I know their parents. I mean, their parents, not only are the kids jam up, the parents are exceptional. Of all of my kids, I only knew one that I'm aware of. But we're talking thousands of families. Understand that. I only knew one who was divorced. Surprise you? Because if you listen to the news, this is not what you'd hear, right? That's right. You know what else? A lot of them are prepared. Do you know that? Yeah, they are prepared. I hear people talking about how inflation is killing people. I hear how people are having to decide between eating and paying their utility bills. And my question is just why? See, here's the thing. Now, I know I come at preparedness differently than a lot of people that you'll see. Because among the top things that you need to concentrate on in your preparedness package is your financial preparedness. Okay? After the good Lord himself, you need to be paying attention to your financial fitness. You know why? Because that's your primary responsibility. I don't know people who are having to decide who inflation is killing. You know why? Because they prepared for it. I'll get back to something else also. We don't see any of this. I hear about the world is just a terrible place. The world is full of evil. Yes, it is. I will agree with that. But let me explain something here. It's always been full of evil. Don't people realize that? It's no more evil now than it ever has been. If you think it's more evil now than ever, go back to Rome. Okay? Really. I mean, really. People who think it's more evil now than ever, I guess they didn't have a good history class or they haven't taught themselves, because it's not. Another thing that I hear is that you can't depend on people. You can't trust people. And I love this one. That people, if you live in the suburbs, you don't know your neighbors. I have lived in the city or the suburbs not my entire life. I lived in a small town for a while. Was happy to get back to the suburbs. I have always known all of my neighbors. All of them. And you know what? For the most part, they've all been great people. Yeah, there's been a couple of morons along the way. Yeah, you're going to get that anyway, right? Tell me you're not. Okay. Anytime I have needed some help with something, man, they are right there. Every time they need something, people are coming over to me all the time asking for help with this or help with that or borrow this or borrow that. You know, our next door neighbors now are kind of older and they're retired. Excuse me, my voice is cracking. Let me have another sip of Stonemont juice. And their fence was falling down. And so my 14-year-old son, when he was 9, he and I went over and rebuilt their fence for him. We didn't charge him anything. Of course not. You'd do that for a neighbor. And he was 9. See, that's another thing I hear. Kids nowadays don't know how to do anything. I had a guy who was talking to me one time, railing against his own son. And for not knowing how to change a tire. This guy thought he was big. He was a former ranger. Can you believe, he said, can you believe he didn't know how to change a tire? And I looked at him. I said, well, have you shown him how? Well, no. Come on, man, says Joe. I mean, really. I hear so many complaints about things. And then when you bring it back to, well, do you know about this? Or have you tried to help it? Well, no, but okay. So 9 years old, Dad showed him how to rebuild a fence. You see, these things happen all the time. It's what made America great to begin with, because the vast majority of people are good people. And yet to hear people talk, people are just horrible. And I think that's a shame. People who feel that way are missing out on so much. Yes, this has a lot to do with preparedness, because preparedness is about people. Oh yeah, it's about stuff, it's about skills, it's about this, it's about, it's about food and water and ammo and shelter and all this. You know what? It's about people. People will get you through more than anything else. And if you think that the whole world is horrible and it's just something to hide from, you've got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. Let me go through my neighborhood here. You want to know about some people? Okay, we'll start down on the corner. The guy down there is a retired Ford mechanic. The top mechanic, the only one who was able to work on their super fancy hot rod car. I don't know what it was. The guy next to him, he and his wife are both hardcores, both shooters, both carry, great shape, right? The guy next door to me is an electrical engineer. Then it's us with 3 strong kids. My daughter, for all you people that think that you ought to carry a 9mm because it's easier to handle than a 40, BS. Let's straighten out some more of that too. Today's the straightening out day, I guess, right? Yeah, I know Uncle Steve brings the truth, and sometimes it hurts. Yeah, she went out, she shot my 40 and 45. So everybody who isn't as strong, can't handle what a 12-year-old girl can handle, raise your hand. Okay, so I got my 3 strong kids, or my 3 strong, productive, smart, high-functioning children here, teenagers. People next door retired. The next person, kind of a butthole, to be honest. They're retired. We don't pay attention to them. People across the street, good folks. 4 big, strong kids. A couple of them married. They all went to Christian schools and Christian colleges and things like that. Remember, this is suburbia, right? The next person next to them, he's a lawyer, but he's a retired Marine, and his wife's tougher than he is. She gets up and does jiu-jitsu at 6 o'clock in the morning. She puts the Christmas lights on their house. She does everything. I mean, she screws up a 40-foot ladder like a monkey. Okay. The guy on the corner down there is a retired colonel, Army colonel, and the college professor. The people next door to here, a couple of real hardcores. They own restaurants, but he was a lineman for the power company for years. Still works a lot like a maniac. Came from a tough part of town. The people, and she's just as tough, and they got 4 big, strong kids. They all carry, I think. The people next to them, you know. The people, they've got a few houses I'm not impressed with. Coming around, we have a guy from Bulgaria, lives with his wife down there. He's remodels houses, and he is tough as a boot. The people next to him, another couple in great shape. Both of them carry 3 good, strong kids, raising them up right. The next people, them, a young couple. It was very good. They were able to afford to move into this neighborhood at their age. Let's see, I missed a couple. 2 doctors with a couple of kids. And then the next young couple that are excellent people. The next bunch, a good couple with, I missed a couple of doctors in there. He's a lawyer, but he's got strong kids. Then the next one after that, a couple of engineers. The next after that, 2 doctors. The next after that, a doctor. Okay. These people, what I'm trying to say is that every one of these people that most people would say, well, they're entitled people. They're not entitled. They got here because they worked their butts off in their field. And you know what they do? They help each other all the time. All the time. I could probably go on and on and on about this, but it just ticked me off to hear. And I'm not ticked off at the people who say it. I feel kind of badly for them. But I hear this so often. I hear people, especially in the older generation, crack on the younger generation, forgetting that their previous generation cracked on them for being lazy, know-nothing, no-goods. Okay? Well, I'll tell you what. I will take my kids above most of the old crotchety guys that think they're so smart and so tough, because they're not that smart. Number one, they don't know near what these younger people do. That's the truth of it. If you're willing to accept the truth, you're going to see the world in a much better light, a much more positive light. When people ask me, they say, well, yeah, they'll read my books. And if you read my books, you'll understand how positive preparedness is, and the importance of all the little things. Okay. But when I get people that come on after I've made a video and they say, yeah, but don't you know this or don't you know that? Okay, these are people who have been caught up in their own little, echo chamber of believing the entire world is after them, and there's nothing they can do about it. And what you can do about it is start expanding your horizons, understand more about the world, know more people. Get out there. If you think that the world is a horrible place, you're living in the wrong world. And you probably live in too small a world, to be real honest. I'm not trying to be unkind here. But what I see is people, talking about things they really don't know about because they're not out here. They're keeping themselves within a very, very small universe of people who tend to think like them. And of course, if you do that, you're going to be scared. You're going to think the whole world is terrible. The whole world is going to end by Friday. And it's just not true. Preparedness is not about being scared. Now, there are some things that you really need to be concerned about. You need to be concerned about the invasion of our country. You need to be concerned about an impending world war. You need to be concerned about this selective service and draft situation, because they're coming after our kids. You need to be concerned about our grid going down. You need to be concerned about a CME. You need to be concerned about a collapse of the financial system. But if you're concerned that the whole world is going to hell because everybody's bad, you're on the wrong track, because you're not seeing a big enough world. Because to be honest, most people out here are pretty darn good folks. And if you'll simply let yourself realize that and understand that, your life's going to be a lot better. And it's also going to improve your preparedness. Okay, I got my rant done, but man, that's been building up for a while. I get tired of hearing all these people crack on how horrible the world is and how terrible the younger generation is. Remember, if you want to sign up to come to the first annual Integrative Preparedness Stonemont Gathering, it's July 13th. Go to the website, stonemont.us, and register. Doesn't cost anything. We just need to know how many people are going to come. And also remember that through the website only, not through Amazon, through the website only, you can pre-order my 7th book on Wings Like Eagles. And there's also the new one-click option to get the entire set. And it's been selling like hotcakes. All 7 of my books, including the Stonemont notebook, and you get a bit of a discount when you do all those. And thanks for the person who suggested that I do that. The reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, hostages to fortune, and on wings like eagles. Whoever thought I could write that much, right? Oh well, there you go. And I'm already starting on the next one. Y'all have a good day. Remember, the world's not a terrible place. If you think the world's a terrible place, you need to reposition yourself in it. Can it be challenging? Can it be threatening? Yes, it can. But come on. I mean, that's what being an adult and that's what being prepared is all about. Deal with it, right? And prepare. Because one of these things you really should be worrying about is probably going to happen. Okay, you all have a good day. Remember, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.